Good.
Oh,
no. Are you kidding me? This is big. Wow. But it.
Boy, it just reminds me of the Clash. Same type of carnage that we saw where these cars were going everywhere. A lot of damage as they all got to turn 3.
Well, that ruined everything.
Gets to his right rear. Oh, yeah, that just starts to turn him a little bit.
Got him in the right rear.
And then he collects Menard.
Yeah.
Logano just misses it, but the whole outside lane and half the inside pile up.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about. At this stage in the race, you can start to taste victory in the Daytona 500. You want to see that checkered flag, and you'll do anything to get it, and you know you've got to be more aggressive with those bump drafts.
It looks exactly like the Clash. I mean, all those cars, third turn, all those cars wadded up, sliding up the track with sparks flying. It looks so much like the Clash.
That is the 17th of February, looking way too much like the 4th of July.
Amen.
Fireworks everywhere.
Yeah, and it really and truly, it was Paul Menard. He gave to Benedetto a little shove, but it was on the outside, on the right side, and that just turned the Benedetto into the outside wall, and then it was on from there.
And a different situation than we saw in the Clash between Menard and with Jimmy Johnson, but it was a similar thing when we heard the spotter on the 21, Menard say, well, he zigged and we zagged.
And in this case, Menard told his team on the radio, I just bumped him a little too hard.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? It's the end of the race. You're trying to help that guy. You're trying to help the Benedetto. You're not trying to wreck him.
I think one of the things working against.
Oh, no, trouble. Allmendinger turned around. Kyle Busch makes contact. More cars involved. Harvick is in it, one of the championship drivers.
Lock it down there, AJ. Get it rolling here if you can.
McMurray involved. Watch the top there, the outside, 43 and 9.
Yeah, it was just a big run that they had. They were going extremely fast, but it's just literally the rear wheels start getting picked up, and then that turns you down the racetrack and into the other cars.
It goes back to the thing that the guy behind cannot see. And so Allmendinger was looked like he tried to check up a little bit because there wasn't quite enough room on the outside. And Ambrose just couldn't see that. Yeah, he right there.
Yeah, he was probably having to check up just a little bit to keep from running over Joey Logano and Tony Stewart right in front of him. But Marcus Ambrose having no idea, and it just takes a split second of cracking the throttle.
You get trapped on the bottom like you.
Trouble! One car slides to the infield, Austin Dillon, and they pile up behind him.
That's 2 weeks in a row early out for Austin Dillon. I don't know how much damage he has, but there's a bunch of them, folks. You got Gregson in this, Bell, accordion effect. We've saw it at Daytona time and time again. Look at the accordion back here.
What happened was Todd Gilliland trying to make a hole for Michael McDowell to get up in that preferred lane in the middle, stack that whole lineup really hard.
Those guys had nowhere to go, didn't see it, landed right in their lap.
What a mess. Watch Todd Gilliland, the 38 car right here. He's going to check up to try to make a hole for Michael McDowell. It checks up this whole line. And all of a sudden, that accordion just gets deep.
Denny Hamlin just missed the 3.
You see Harrison Burton around.
Ooh, contact. And hard into the wall. And it looks like the 33 of Fontaine is
on his
on his lid now.
See Bobby Gerhart also involved.
Gerhart in the 5. And we are under caution with 5 to go at Daytona.
Looked like there might have been some contact there, and that got the 58 of Clint King, I think, into Justin Fontaine's 33 car. Cody Robaugh, Bobby Gerhart came along with absolutely nowhere to go. You see Derek Lancaster gets into the outside wall right in front of them.
And Justin Fontaine took a big head-on hits.
See right side of your screen, look at the green car. They're just in there pushing and shoving, drafting. Looked like it really got into the 7 of Cody Robaugh, and that got him into Justin Fontaine. But again, nothing these drivers could do. They're just along for the ride right here.
He's going to stay in the bottom lane. Right now, he doesn't have to make a decision, but he's getting ready to. Here comes a big push for Logano.
Oh, around goes the 37. Priest is around. He catches the 24 as well as the 21. Caution comes out. And fire coming out of the back of the 24 of William Byron.
William Byron has had so much speed in these playoffs, but just things have not gone his way. Then they get together. Right here, he gets into the back of Logano, and now he's still getting pushed from Buescher, and around he goes. You know, Buescher just can't judge when to quit pushing because you can't see. You don't know that Priest is up against the car in front of him. It's a great shot of it right here. Right there, they make contact, and there's Buescher still pushing, and around Priest goes. Had to Benedetto in this wreck also.
Crash in turn 4.
Man,
and there in the midst of it sits Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch, the 2 leaders.
I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe Tony got a little loose all at once.
Kurt Busch, the 2, will go straight to the garage, Jerry.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about that car.
Tony's car just, Tony hit the apron. He got down on the apron. He got a little bit loose. Kurt was all over the back of him, and there he goes.
Tony's dropped the window net on his car. That's a signal to safety workers that he is okay. Watch the yellow line.
Yeah, watch the left front tire. He gets it on the apron just a little bit. You see the car wiggle, and he gets loose. He's got to probably lift out of the throttle a tad. And here comes Kurt. Cannot get off of him. They make contact.
And then once Tony gets sideways, nowhere for Kurt Busch, the 2 to go.
What a shame.
Commit to running as long as they can, but these guys are
Trouble turn 3. It's Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly what happened. You couldn't do that. They were single file.
The air cleaner is completely off of Eric Jones's car.
The 42 car into the 23.
Well,
see him move up. The 23 actually gets into Jones, and then they start moving around, stacking them up.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what we were talking about earlier over that tunnel, you see the back of those cars moving around. Look at that. See the back of the cars moving around, and as they're moving around, they come down and they're all connected in a they're not lined up, I guess is the best way to put it. It just gets them out of whack.
Now Denny Hamlin was to the inside. Somebody must have slid down into him off the banking.
That is a good plan gone wrong.
Good Lord.
Well, let's watch for Martin Truex.
As soon as you put that helmet on, somehow it squeezes the blood flow.
Brandon Jones.
Brandon Jones, who won the opening stage, crashes at the end of stage 2 and more contact. Wow, that was scary. Cody Ware in the 17 got him.
The amount of time it took to make that adjustment and get down there, that gap is closed up already. It doesn't take but an inch or two just to get clipped and get turned like that. And the hard thing about these infields, and we see this at a lot of tracks that have tri-ovals that have grass in them, either the grass is really tall, but like you said, at Daytona, it's really short, but the problem is you have to be able to drain the water. So that infield, even though it looks really, really flat, it's not flat. It has a lot of areas where that water has to drain down, and so that creates those humps. And with the splitter heights as low to the ground as they are, it doesn't take much of a difference there to get that splitter to dig in.
Tony, if I can get Pam to back this up one more time, did you see how close you were to spending a bunch of money in that wreck? I mean, he barely
I was
missed
trying to not look at that, but I have to admit that I caught that.
Some cars making their way to pit road now.
Oh, there you go. There's a
big
wreck.
group, and there's a problem. Jimmy McMurray gets hit. Earnhardt gets into him. McMurray's going to get hit again.
We see that so many times at Talladega. Every Brian go at the same time, and they just make contact. And Jamie McMurray with big contact.
Here's what happened.
Well, you can see, I think Kyle Busch was on the inside of Jamie McMurray. Did not know he was trying to pit. So here we go. We see Jamie McMurray trying to slow down.
He's in the second lane, way up on the racetrack, and the 77, I think, has no idea the one is pitting or just can't tell. And he hits him reasonably close to full speed, Jeff.
Also the 15, we see Mark Thompson got into that as well. Chris Buescher in the 37.
If he wasn't able to clear him there, he was going to be in trouble. You know, being stuck on the bottom.
Trouble.
Oh, we got a big wreck here.
26 Kaz Grala, 4 Garrett Smithley. Second caution of the day.
I'm telling you guys, these cars are a handful right now. I mean, low temperatures, nobody knows exactly what they got. These cars are so difficult to drive right now.
It kind of went up the racetrack. There's the 4. Kind of know where to go. Once you commit to a lane, you're kind of committed. And for the driver, it's hard, right? Like right there, look at, you can't even see the 4 in the smoke. That means he can't see where he's going either. And so he's 100% reliant on the spotter. Coleman, what's that like for you?
Well, obviously, it's a very difficult situation. With the high banking, you kind of look at it as a Bristol-type incident that it's going to funnel down. But because they wrecked so low, the momentum carried them up the track. So that's a 50-50 split decision. I get it. That's a tough position to be in, and unfortunately, he caught the bad end of it.